Welcome back. I hope you had a good half term. I hope you managed to enjoy some of the weather. What we are going to be doing in this assembly, we're going to be hearing from a few different people. First of all, what we're going to be hearing from Kwaku. Many of you will be absolutely appalled by the situation in America at the moment and the killing of an unarmed African American man by the police in Minneapolis. And yeah, feel outraged about that. Kwaku has contacted me asking to provide a contribution to this assembly, and I wanted to put him up first of all because of the message is really important. So shortly I'm going to hand over to Kwaku. You're then going to hear, it's going to link into Mr. Wheeler, who's going to talk a little bit more about Year 12 students returning for some face-to-face support from teachers later in the term. You're then going to hear from Emma and her mental health tip. And then finally, you're going to hear from me just with a reminder of some key deadlines coming up. So now I'm going to hand over to Kwaku.
Hello everyone, hello Redcliffe students. I'm here to talk to you today. Well, I hope you know why I'm here to talk to you today. And it's about a serious topic, but I just want to start by saying that today, I'm going to give you a little speech, but I'm not going to be talking as a Christian. I'm not going to be talking as a Muslim, or as a Jew, as a 17-year-old, but I hope you not know where I'm going with this. I'm going to be talking to you today as what I was when I was born, a black man. And as a black man, I've been told a long time ago that I no longer need to be segregated, abused and beaten and treated differently because of the color of my skin. But for some reason, I feel like I've been bamboozled, hoodwinked, led astray, run amok as I see my black brothers such as George Floyd, Eric Garner, Ahmaud Arbery, Amadou Diallo, and Rodney King treated differently simply because of the color and shade of their skin. And many people ask, what is the strategy? What is the approach when these things happen to our people? Is it rioting? Is it protesting? Is it hating the white man? Is it any of those things? But I want to say this. One thing I believe is that success is the best revenge. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say as black men, as black women, we need to get those grades we deserve. We need to get those drama scholarships we deserve. We need to get those football scholarships we deserve. Those basketball scholarships we deserve. And with the help of many compassionate white people, we will be able to fight against the high powers in this world that allow the injustice to our people to occur. Thank you for listening.
Hi everybody. I seem to find myself sandwiched between the really important bits here. Thank you so much, Kwaku. I find that really powerful. And Emma's going to carry on and talk about the really important stuff again. So I keep it really brief. You'll be aware that the government's asked us to reopen to some Year 10 and Year 12 students in the last 5 weeks of this academic year. We are working really hard towards that. We'd love to see more of you, and I'm really looking forward to seeing people face to face. But the rules are we can only get a very small proportion on site at any one time, and have to work through things in a very logical way. So the way this plan is going to work for us is the first 3 weeks of that period are going to be Year 10, and Year 10 is logistically a lot more tricksy, funnily enough, and they're going to get about 2 hours with each teacher in that period of time. The last 2 weeks of term are going to be focused on Year 12, and bizarrely you get more time out of that because what we can do with Year 12 is focus on one option block per day through that period. So we're not yet there on the final plans for it. Hopefully you'll hear something from us in the next couple of weeks or so, so you know exactly which days to keep free. but you can look forward, hopefully, to seeing your teachers for some period of time within that time. And because we'll be doing one option block per day, you're probably looking at 3 days in the week at most that you would be in. And depending on how it works, it might be that we can manage 3 days in both weeks. It might be that it's 3 days across the 2 weeks in order to keep the group sizes down to a really safe level and to ensure all that the rules are complied with around health and safety and social distancing and so on. But the important thing will be that we're really, really looking forward to seeing you, and we're going to try and plan something good for those who are able to come and equally good for those who don't feel able to come. And we absolutely recognise that not everybody will feel able to come. We completely respect your decisions on that, and we're going to try and make sure that it's as positive for everybody as we possibly can. All right, so have a good rest of a couple of weeks, as Mr. Shaw said, and we'll get back to learning again as soon as the progress checks are over. And over to Emma now to say much more important stuff.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's Good Mental Health Tip. I realise that it comes in the middle of a global pandemic and a lot of unrest around the murder of George Floyd and lots of other Black people who are losing their lives to police brutality or racist attacks. And I know that we've already talked about this in this assembly this morning, but I just wanted to address it from the sort of perspective of a good mental health tip. It's easy to feel helpless and powerless and like, I'm just one person, what can I do to change the world? But as Desmond Tutu said, if we are silent in the face of oppression, we have chosen the side of the oppressor. So let's not be silent. Let's speak up. Let's encourage one another. Let's protest peacefully. Let's do what we can to change our world as much as we can. I was thinking about something that Martin Luther King said. He said that he chose love. He chooses love because hate is too great a burden to bear. And I love that. If we think about love and loving each other well, if we did that to everyone, the world would be completely different. And when you love somebody, you listen, you try and understand, you spend time with them, you accept them for the good bits and the bad bits, you put them before yourself. And I think when we are trying to understand this issue and when we are trying to speak up, we need to think about how we do that with love, how we love one another well. And then the other thing I was thinking about was this year we chose a word for the year 13s. Every year we do this, we pick some words that we think exemplify the year 13s and base a whole assembly thing on it. So this year one of the words was activist, and we're so proud of the way that you guys don't just accept the status quo, that you want to change things, that you fight for things that you believe in. We love that about you, and I think one of the things that helps us to stay mentally well is that we have to learn to accept the things that we can't change on our own, and we learn how to effect change when we can. So that might be in me, I need to change things. It might be within my friendship group, I need to change how we talk about things or how we listen or how we speak about issues, and it might be that I do protesting on a bigger level as well. So think about the things that you can do to effect change and do those things. And the things that you can't change, really important to be able to acknowledge what they are, but then not feel anxious about those or not feel like under pressure to change whole institutions. That actually will take time. So if you guys aren't okay, get in touch and love one another well.
And finally, from me, some deadlines. So just to remind you, progress check tasks need to be emailed back to your teachers by Friday the 12th of June. You should have now completed, if you're hoping to do EPQ, you should have completed your initial proposal on Project Q, and teachers will be at the moment completing the third box before we ask you to complete the fourth box on that initial stage of Project Q. If you haven't yet done that, please let me know if you are still hoping to do EPQ. And then finally, senior student applications by Monday the 15th of June. So as I went through in the previous assembly, if you are hoping to apply to be a senior student, then please can you get your application to me by Monday the 15th of June. Next week's assembly is going to have a real progression focus from Miss Isaac with instructions on how to register for UCAS. So don't start the registration process for UCAS before we say, please. So just hold off, and there you're going to get lots of guidance on that next week. Have a great weekend. Keep on completing those progress check tasks. Any questions you have about that, please contact teachers directly. And again, do let myself know and the pastoral team know if we can do anything to help at any point. Thank you very much.